because we've been so conditioned to think that credit is negative because we associate credit with debt,
Mm-hmm.
but not knowing
Mm-hmm.
that the wealthy people have unlocked a cheat code and understanding that there's different types of debt. See,
Sure.
wealthy people or people who are smart with money understand, hey, this credit or this debt can help me to purchase income producing assets that will
Yeah.
make money. Versus us, we've been taught, hey, credit is bad,
Yeah.
credit is this, stay away from credit cards,
Yeah.
or because again, like we say, we've been used to looking at it from a consumer standpoint. So then we have a whole mindset of thinking that something is negative when there's millions upon millions of documentation that show the benefit of it. And so
Sure.
once we understand the mindset and having a philosophy change of how credit can be beneficial,
Sure.
then there's a whole nother level of understanding how to leverage your credit. Because this is what I tell people. I've built my entire business over the past 10 years leveraging credit. I've never had to use any of my own money. And
Wow.
once you really understand that concept, then it becomes a lifestyle change. So
Sure.
not only
Sure.
do you change your mindset, then you change your lifestyle and really understand that credit is merely just a tool, no different than a carpenter who uses a hammer.
Absolutely. You know, I do want to kind of get your thoughts, right? Because as I said, you are definitely one of the originals, in this whole content thing regarding the teaching of credit and financial literacy, essentially, right? How do you feel, man, seeing, because it seemed like there's a new credit repair company, there's a new business.
Yeah.
Everybody, what I'm saying, the pandemic, bro, I ain't never seen so many gurus in my life. You know what I mean? Like, to the point where I'll be honest with you, Will, like, bro, I contemplated, because Black Vest, it's a financial literacy company, right? We have been teaching just financial literacy, for like the bank that I work for. They would allow for us to do coaching, things of that nature, whatever. So, you know, again, I say before the pandemic, boom, right? How do you feel, man? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of companies that gives it a bad name. You know what I mean? How do you navigate, through that, and just staying and remaining who you are, you know what I mean? And ensuring that people recognize there's a difference between a Will Roundtree and such other company. Just because they're getting, you know what I mean, on different shows and
Yeah.
things like that. How do you, decipher, like, how do you keep that
No,
balance?
absolutely. That's actually a great question. And so I can take it all the way back to Sean, like credit repair has kind of had like a cloud over it 10 years ago. I
Yeah.
can remember when I first got into the space, I used to whisper to people and say, hey, I do
Yeah.
credit repair. Because it
Yeah.
was almost embarrassing because it was
Yeah.
almost looked as like a scam. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I told myself back then, and then I'll bring it back around how I keep the separation, and then I'll tell you how I feel about everybody, literally anybody just jumping into the space. I said, you know what? My focus is going to be to educate people. And here is
Mhm.
why. 60% of people who go and get their credit repaired usually end up back in the same position because they haven't changed their habits.
Yeah.
It's no different than it's no amount of money you can give someone who has poor financial habits.
That's a
This is
fact.
why lottery winners end up broke. This is
That's a
why
fact.
athletes end up broke because their habits haven't changed. So I say, you know what? I'm going to teach people about credit education. It's bigger than just disputing some things. Do you understand credit utilization? Do you
Yeah.
understand how inquiries impact you? Do you understand statement dates and bill due dates and all of
Yeah.
these different variances? And then giving people the information on now let's be aware of, hey, you got to monitor your credit often. Okay, now that your credit is in a certain position, now let me show you how to educate your children and help build their credit. And
Yeah.
so my focus had always been education. So fast forward, and I'll talk a little bit about pre-pandemic. I remember as the pandemic was looming, I wanted to still be able to reach the masses because I've been so used to traveling and going to different cities, doing different events and educating. So I actually put out a 30-day do-it-yourself credit repair
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
Very interactive, virtual. I did shot over 40 something, almost 40 videos, and literally walked people from A to Z on understanding credit, but then also how to repair it themselves.